We have here is data of matches. So in the data of matches, we have information from season 2007-2008 up to 2024. Here, every match ID represents every match in IPL. So match type, player of the match, venue, team 1, team 2, toss winner, toss decision, winner, result, result margin, everything is given here. Okay, what was the target runs, what was target over, super over, method, etc. Similarly, we have deliveries data. This is a much bigger file. So in matches, obviously we have information of all the matches. Now in those matches, of all the balls that were bowled, so this particular file has 26 lakh and 2,60,921 rows of data. Here every row represents one ball. So batting team, bowling team, with the over number, the ball number, who was the batter, who was the bowler, this was the first ball, who was the non-striker, the batsman, runs, extra runs scored on this ball, total runs got on this ball, extras type, was that a wicket, was player dismissed, dismissal, kind, and fielder. So this information, if it was wicket, okay, so every time it was a wicket, you can see one is written. And who was the player dismissed? Saurav Ganguly. And who was the bowler? Zahir Khan. So every time a wicket is picked, you will see the information of bowler who took wicket and batsman who was out. Similarly, anytime a 4 or a 6 was hit, you will see information of who hit that 6, like Brandon McCullum did. So this way we will be able to calculate total runs made by a batsman, total number of wickets took by a bowler, and things like that can be calculated. We did another IPL analysis dashboard earlier where we created a dashboard like this, where we saw most number of runs scored by Virat, were by Virat Kohli, Yuzvendra Chahal took 187 wickets, but this was from 2008 to 2023. Now, since we have new data with 2024 also involved, we will try to create a player summary dashboard here, or player stats dashboard. So first we will, so these are the two files that we have. Okay, now we also have player images and team info file. So in player images and team info file, we have the player name, and it is written like this: MS Dhoni, Moin Ali, Bhagat Verma, and so on. So we have the player info file, and we have the batting style and bowling style and the image of the player and the team of this player, okay, at that time. So we have this data. Obviously after these auctions this data will change, but we will have at least player image from this data. So we will close this one now, and what we are going to do, we will simply load these data files since most of them are in CSV. So this is CSV, this is CSV, and this is also CSV. So we will connect text CSV and we will connect them one by one. First, let's connect deliveries. Here we have match ID and all. So we will simply load this data. Next, we will load the second file, that is matches. Load. And here one offloaded code contains error. Let's see what the error is. Let's apply. Maybe it was loading. Error is resolved automatically. and we will close this file. We don't need anything. Yeah, now we have this, and now the third file. So text CSV and player image info. So this way we have these files, but here in this file you can see the first column is not appearing properly, because in the first column we can see column 1, column 2. So we will go to transform data, and in Power Query Editor we will use first row as header. Now the changes will be made. We can close and apply, and this way we have our three files. Now after we have our three files, let's create some basic cards where we are going to show information about a player. First we will create batsman stats or batting stats. Okay, so let's create batting stats. Obviously we can create both the stats together, but first we are going to create batting stats. In this file itself we have this header file, okay, where we have all the logos of teams. So what we are going to do, we will load this IPL head file as our header. So to do that, just go to insert tab. In insert tab, go to image and use your image. So we are going to use this head, and obviously we are going to do resizing and fit this image. Let's collapse all the panes so that we can resize this image to fit our entire width, and let's shift it up a little bit. Yeah, so now the image is there, and here we are going to write something like player stats. So a text box, and we will write IPL player stats, and we are going to resize it to 28 size, adjust its width, and make its text light color, because we are going to place it on a dark background. Okay, just a minute, it is sometimes trouble. So we have simply dragged it, and now we have this data. Okay, this is player stats. Its background color is currently white. So this is the image. Let's select its color. So the color code is hashtag 84. I have used this Colorzilla extension in Mozilla. So what I am going to do, I will go to effects of this and go to background, more color, and put this as a background. So this way you will be able to see that, and make it bold and reduce its size to 24. Yeah, so this way you can create your simple heading. Okay, we can create a dynamic heading also, but now we have done the first part. Now we will create our first card here, and in the first card, first we will resize, because we are going to provide a lot of details. Okay, so in this card we will go to matches, and in matches every match has a ID. So here when you will go to table view, you will see every match has a unique ID, and when you will go to the model view, you can see that matches and the deliveries table are not linked. Okay, so we will go to manage relationship, create a new relationship. From here we will select deliveries table. In deliveries table there is match ID. We will select matches table, and here it is ID, and this is many to one relationship, because many match records in the deliveries table will match with one record from the match table, because in deliveries table for every match ideally we will have 40 overs of data. Okay, and in 40 overs we will have around 240 deliveries, so it will have that data. That's why it is a many to one relationship, and we will close this way. You will see in this relationship the match ID and the ID are not related. So we have adjusted the data model. We will save this report. So let's save this report as IPL 2008 to 2024 player stats. Okay, we have this file. Save. Now in this file, if we will drag the matches ID, okay, the matches ID field, it will show us count of ID. Okay, we will just rename for this visual as matches played. So every time a player appears in that record where the player was there, so we will have this data. Let's go here and format our call out value, resize it a little bit, make it bold, and use color like this, which will match with our theme color. Okay, and in the matches played, which is the label, call out or category label, we will increase its size a little bit, make it bold, and change its color also. So this way we have the matches played by the player. Obviously it is going to be there, but we are just going to select the player later. As a filter we are going to select the player, and every record will get filtered. And here we will go back to general effects, and here we are going to enable shadow and visual border. Okay, now we will make a copy of this card. So before making the copy, let's adjust its height and width a little bit, so that we can create multiple records. When you will go to this visual, go to general tab, properties, position, and padding. You can reduce the top padding to 0 pixel, so that you can reduce its height and width as per your liking. Now we will create some copies of this, and in those copies we are going to put different values. Now you also know that obviously there is a match ID. Okay, but in deliveries table you can see innings, batting team, bowling team, everything is there. So from bowling table, so from the bowling or deliveries table, what if we put an index column here? That index column will give unique ID to every delivery that is bowled. Okay, so here we are going to Power BI, and we will go back to home tab. From home tab we will go to transform data. When you will transform data, you will see your deliveries table. Okay, so I don't know what is this, but here we have the correct data. Now here we have the deliveries table. In deliveries table we will add a column and an index column starting from 1. So for every delivery you will see this value. Okay, and we will call it bowl ID. So now we have unique bowl ID for every ball, or every ball that was bowled. Bold, close and apply. And here it is applying to every delivery. Obviously it is a large data, will take some time. Now for every ball we have a ball ID. Okay, so here if you will see, this is ball 1, ball 2. Obviously this is something, the ball number of that match, over number and ball number will tell you the ball number, but here ball ID will represent ball ID, unique ball ID for every ball that was bowled. If you will click here and sort descending, you see that 260920 is the ID of last ball. These many balls have been bowled in IPL so far. Okay. Now when we'll go there, in this part we will simply drag ball ID, and we will remove matches played and ball ID. Obviously this is sum of ball ID, which is 13 billion, but we want is count of ball ID. Okay, this is total count, and we will simply rename it as balls faced. Enter. So here it will display this player has played these many matches and these many balls faced. Then there is a column called batsman runs. So every time a batsman makes a run, okay, so in deliveries, every time a batsman makes a run, it is given in batsman runs. So what we are going to do here in the third part, or in the third card, we will delete it and drag batsman runs here and rename it as runs. That will be it. So how many runs has that batsman made? Similarly, there is a column called is wicket. Is wicket is 1 every time a wicket falls. So here we are going to add sum of is wicket. So sum of is wicket is this sum will add all the ones in that column, and this is going to be dismissed how many times this batsman was dismissed. Obviously we are going to uh, you know optimize all of this, but here we are just telling you if we create these kind of cards. Okay, so what we can do, we can put a slicer here. This slicer is like a filter. Okay, a filter. In the filter you can select one player, and logically this data will change for every player. Okay, so here what we are going to do, here we will just put batsman name. So in this slicer, which is the filter, let's see where is the batsman name. So batsman name is in the column batter in deliveries table. So from here we will bring batter, and now you will see name of all batters here. Okay, we will go to slicer settings, and here is a vertical list. We can also select a drop down. Okay, let's keep it as a vertical list, and selection we will enable single select only, because we want to see records of one batsman. And you can see as we checked single select, okay, you will see records getting changed. Okay, so obviously there are a lot of things that need to be altered. Obviously this player has not played 1095 matches, but we will fix that. But you just have to enable single select. In slicer header we will increase its size, and batter is written, so let's make the first letter capital, bold, and let's change this color to something from our theme. Okay, now let's go to some other batsmen like AB de Villiers. So you can see AB de Villiers has faced 3487 balls, made 5181 runs, and it was dismissed 125 times. Okay, so obviously what we have done here is we have selected the matches ID. Let's remove this, and from deliveries table also we have a match ID. Okay, obviously AB de Villiers has not faced these many matches, but what is happening, we will count distinct, and this will give us that AB de Villiers has played 170 matches. We will confirm this also, and we will rename it as matches played. Okay, I forgot to hit enter. Now let's confirm this data. So this is the official website of IPL, IPL T20. From here we can see that he has made 5162 runs. His highest score is 133, average 39.71, and balls faced is 3403, strike rate is 151, and we have other data. So in our calculation, runs are coming 5181, is 5162. Okay, obviously there can be a question on correctness of this data also, obviously the data that we have, but here we are getting very close to what real data might say. Now in matches played, if you imagine the real scenario, sometimes there may be a case that he came on to bat, okay, but he never faced a ball. He was just a non-striker, and or sometimes he just played the match, and you know he was in the squad, but he did not bat. Like openers made all the runs, and he did not get batting. So there can be that case also. So to deal with our problem with batsmen can either be present as a batter or can be present as a non-striker. So what we are doing here is we have created a calculated measure, and in this calculated measure we are calculating using the calculate function. In calculate function we are counting the distinct value of match IDs, and we are applying the condition that selected value is the value that is selected in the slicer. Okay, so selected values is either a batter, or selected values in the batter column that we have selected as slicer is either a batter or a non-striker. So in this case, if batsman is present as a batter or a non-striker, we are counting that match ID. So just to verify that, for CV Varun, we can see that as per our previous calculation, the distinct count of match ID is 10, because there we only selected for batter. Okay, but this time that batsman was also present on two matches where that batsman did not bat. Okay, he was just present as a non-striker. So obviously for many other players like let's say CA Ingram, or let's try to find other players, and we can select from here also because batter is all. So here we can search also, let's say Kohli. So here we will select V Kohli. Okay. So in this data set, obviously for all 244 matches he played, he was present as a batter and a non-striker. So there are some other data sets available where in a match squad is also given. So from that match squad with player ID, we can find out more precisely about this. But obviously in this data, the best we can do is like this. So what we are going to do, we are just going to replace this by total matches, and now we will have the data. So now we have our filters here. So either you can use this filter here, or by selecting the slicer you can use search filter. Let's say you want to select SR Tendulkar. So here you will see Tendulkar and number of matches played, balls faced, runs made, and was out of 78 matches dismissed in 71 matches. And later we can find not outs also, and after finding not outs we can find batting average also. That is something that we are going to do in the second part of this series. So please subscribe to our channel to learn more related to player stats, and especially calculated measures and calculated columns in Power.